What if I told you that a single decision made in Manhattan boardroom could crash the Mumbai Stock Exchange forever, force your neighbor to sell their houses, and change the course of your family's future? In 2008, that's exactly what happened. Hello everyone, today we are discussing how a reckless decision made by a company in 2008 resulted in financial meltdown and the domino effect reached millions of households, including right here in India. For over 150 years, Lehman Brothers wasn't just another bank, they were the puppet master of global finance. Picture them as a friend who knows everyone, has connection everywhere, and somehow always end up in middle of every major deal. From financing India's biggest infrastructure project to advising corporations on multi-billion dollars merger, Lehman Brothers' hands reach every corner of the world economy. When they moved, world moved, and when they spoke, the government listened. But here is where the story becomes terrifying. Absolutely nobody has any idea how interconnected this global economy had already become. In the gleaming tower of Manhattan, Lehman's executives were making the safest bet in the world. Housing prices in America has been rising for decades. Real estate never goes down. They told themselves, and it was like betting on rising sun tomorrow. So they went all in, not just with their own money, but with massive loans. They were so confident that they leveraged themselves 30 to 1. That means for every dollar owned, they borrowed 30 more. And here is the scary part. They weren't just buying mortgage, they were buying loans given to the people who couldn't really afford them. Picture a delivery driver in California getting approval of $5 lakh house, or a part-time worker buying a mansion with no money down. This sounds crazy, but this is what was happening in those towers. Lehman's executive packaged this high-risk loan into complex financial instruments and named them as mortgage-backed security and collateral debt obligations. They were essentially selling ticking bomb to the investor around the world, including banks and pension funds here in India. You know that moment in musical chair when music suddenly stopped? That's what happened to global economy in 2008. American housing market, which has been the engine driving everything, suddenly paused. And that $5 lakh home, its value plummeted to $2 lakh only. Those safe mortgage payment, people started defaulting on them. And Lehman Brothers, which had betted everything on this market, found themselves holding worthless paper worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Picture the panic in boardroom. Executives who were masters of the universe just months before were now desperately calling anyone who might save them. The British government said no, Korean investors walked away, and even US government backed out, and they decided to let Lehman fail. September 15, 2008, 6:45 a.m. New York time, Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy, the largest in US history. At that moment, a financial earthquake began that could shake the entire world. And here is the fascinating part. The real effect didn't happen in New York. It happened in places like Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, where ordinary people recognize how well connected global economy is. Within hours of Lehman's collapse, Sensex crashed to 900 points, but that was just the beginning. The real domino effect happens with lives of regular people. A construction worker in Pune lost his job when the real estate project got cancelled. This happened because Indian bank has bought Lehman's asset and now they cannot leverage it to lend the money for a new project. A family in Delhi had to cancel their daughter's marriage because they have invested money into some funds which were invested into Lehman's security, which evaporated overnight. A small textile company in Ahmedabad couldn't pay salary to its worker because orders from foreign markets have evaporated. And what makes this story more tragic is that it was entirely preventable. The collapse of Lehman Brothers wasn't caused by natural disaster or war. It was caused by human greed, overconfidence, and a dangerous belief that they were too big to be failed. So next time when someone tells you what happens in global finance doesn't affect your household, tell them about Lehman Brothers and 2008 September 15th. What domino effect did you felt in 2008 financial crisis? Write down in comments and let us know about that.